Yes, today we are going to start with the next chapter of chemistry, that is surface chemistry. Now first we should know what is surface chemistry. It is that branch of chemistry which deals with the study of phenomena occurring at the surface or interface. Interface means at the boundaries separating the two bulk phases. Like you can see in this picture, there is one liquid phase and other is solid phase. These are separated by means of a black dotted line. This black dotted line is called interface. So interface is the transition region separating two or more immiscible phases. The interface is represented by separating the bulk phases by a hyphen or a slash. For example, the interface between gas and liquid may be represented as gas slash liquid or gas hyphen liquid. Similarly, we have liquid slash liquid, solid slash liquid and gas slash solid. Now there are many phenomena which occur at the interface. For example, dissolution, crystallization, corrosion, heterogeneous catalysis and electrode process. You have seen this electrochemical cell in the chapter of electrochemistry. At the surface of the electrode, ions start moving in the solution, or ions from the solution they start accumulating on the surface. Means at the surface of the electrode two ions are present, that is the metal ions of the electrode and metal of ions in the solution. So this is also the phenomena occurring at the interface. Similarly, corrosion takes place at the surface of the iron. So this is also a surface phenomena. In this unit, we will be studying some important features of surface chemistry such as adsorption, catalysis and colloids, including emulsions and gels. So now we'll start with adsorption. Adsorption is the phenomena of attracting and retaining the molecules of a substance on the surface of a liquid or a solid, resulting into higher concentration of the molecules on the surface. Adsorption of gases at metal surface is called occlusion. I can give you one example. When we write with a chalk on a board, then chalk dust gets adsorbed over the surface of the blackboard. That is called adsorption. The substance which gets adsorbed on any surface is called adsorbate, and the substance on the surface of which adsorption takes place, that is called adsorbent. You can see here the green colored solid is an adsorbent and gas molecules, that is adsorbate, get stick over the surface. Adsorption in action. There are many examples of adsorption. For example, when aqueous solution of raw sugar passed over the beds of animal charcoal, then the solution becomes colorless as the coloring substance gets adsorbed by the charcoal. Similarly, the air becomes dry in the presence of silica gel because water molecules get absorbed on the surface of the gel. The process of removing an adsorbed substance from the surface on which it is adsorbed is also called desorption. So desorption is just an opposite of adsorption. Till now, you have heard about the term absorption, and now you have heard about a new term, adsorption. You must know the difference between the two. Absorption is assimilation of molecular species throughout the bulk of the solid or the liquid. I can give you one example. You take a cotton ball. If you put it in water, water just goes inside the cotton ball. This is called absorption. But if you put the same cotton ball in a vessel containing chalk dust, the chalk dust gets accumulated on the pores of the surface of cotton ball. So this is accumulation of molecular species at the surface rather than in the bulk. This is called adsorption. So absorption is a bulk phenomena, whereas adsorption is a surface phenomena. Absorption is endothermic, whereas adsorption is exothermic process. Adsorption is not affected by the temperature, whereas adsorption is favored by low temperature. Absorption occurs at a uniform rate, whereas adsorption steadily increases and then reaches equilibrium. In adsorption, concentration remains same throughout the material, but in adsorption, concentration on the surface of the adsorbent is different from that in the bulk. You can see the examples here. Here you can see the gas molecules, they are distributed even in the liquid bulk. So this is the example of absorption, whereas here the gas molecules, they just stick on the surface of the solid bulk. So this is an example of adsorption. When a chalk stick is dipped in ink, the surface retains the color of the ink due to the adsorption of colored molecule, while the solvent of ink also goes deeper inside the stick due to absorption. When you break the chalk, you find it is white from inside. Means here both adsorption and absorption has taken place simultaneously. So here we can use the term sorption. It describes both the processes. You can see in this diagram also, the molecules shown by X, they are present on the surface as well as inside the body. So this is a phenomenon of sorption. Now mechanism of adsorption. Just see the molecules in the beaker. The molecule which is present inside, here all the forces are balanced and it is surrounded by the similar molecules on all sides. But the molecule which is present at the surface, it is surrounded by the similar molecules only on one side. So this molecule experiences unbalanced attractive forces. Similar in the case in the solid. Here also, the molecule inside the bulk that is surrounded by the similar molecules from all sides, so forces are balanced, but the molecule at the surface has unbalanced attractive forces on the surface. So you can see here, these are the adsorbate molecules. They get adsorbed over the surface due to the unbalanced attractive forces on the surface. Factors affecting the adsorption. Extent of adsorption increases with increase of the surface area at a given temperature and pressure. During adsorption, there is always a decrease in residual forces on the surface. That is, there is decrease in surface energy which appears as heat. So, adsorption is an exothermic process, or we can say delta H is negative. We can also explain it in another way. When gas is adsorbed, the freedom of the movement of its molecules become restricted, means delta S becomes negative. Now for a process to be spontaneous, delta G should be negative. This is the reaction you have read in the chapter of thermodynamics in class 11th. Now delta S has become negative, so this factor T delta S, it becomes positive. So delta G will be negative only if delta H has sufficiently high negative value. As the adsorption proceeds, delta H becomes less and less negative. Ultimately, delta H becomes equal to T delta S and delta G becomes 0. At this stage, the equilibrium is attained.